So I've been playing shoot 'em ups on and off for nearly 2 years now. A bit of a schmuck for shmups if you... I've tried out Dodonpachi, Battle Garega, Radiant Silvergun, Zero Ranger, Katsui, Mushihime-sama, ESP, Strikers, Muchi Park. I like these games a lot, think they're plenty of fun, wish I was better at them, but something I've always been mixed on is the memorization factor. Yes mum, I know I have to repeat yet another school year, throw up. I think building a general knowledge of what's coming ahead and forming a sort of intuition around that is cool, but if you really want to excel, it's kind of expected that you memorize bullet patterns and enemy layouts, which I'm not sure is really my cup of pilk. This is probably why I haven't one credit cleared any of these games yet, other than being absolutely horrendous. You know, I'm sure it's exhilarating as hell when you route out a bullet pattern like it's some kind of labyrinth, looking like an absolute bullet hell baller. But an insidious aspect of committing to a shmup is that it does get repetitive, having to practice the same railroaded stuff over and over again, and it risks losing the magic it had on your first run. Well, you might fall in love with it all over again once you find yourself clearing hurdles you couldn't before, but there's a fair amount of commitment involved for someone who might just wanna shoot the shit, you know? Enter Warning Forever. It's free, it's tiny, and pretty old. The premise? Battle a single boss that evolves with each defeat until you run out of time. Just like our Prince Philip. Fight on King. Starting a run in Warning Forever is easier than you think. You know, you should sign up for our $1,000 Warning Forever course. The neat thing about Warning Forever is that how the boss evolves depends on how you fight it. Which of its weapons did it nail you with? What parts of the boss do you tend to target first? The procedural generation is kinda like the Febreze that keeps each run fresh. I want to quickly highlight the secondary weapon you get because I almost always use it over the main one. You can change the angle and direction by moving the ship around when not shooting, which, yeah, sounds kinda funky, and is especially so with all of this rubbish being thrown at you, but it's pretty satisfying once you got it down. It makes the simple act of aiming your weapon feel a little more consequential, which I think is really interesting. Once you're more adept at disposing of this funny green fella, you should find yourself getting to the later, harder stages faster. A nice change of pace from having to play entire levels over at a set speed, and if you make a mistake you have to settle down, behave. I also quite like the time limit mode. There's still a clear punishment for dying in the form of losing precious seconds, but it feels a lot less crushing than losing lives somehow. It's something to talk about with the therapist, I guess. You can still have lives if you want though, and there's a mode where you can set as many as you'd like. Oh, Warning Forever doesn't come with any music of its own by the way, but what's nice is that you can add your own. Just grab a song, could be anything you want, a video game track, Nocturne in E-flat major, Sweet Caroline dubstep remix, an audio recording of your recent counseling session.
What are your thoughts on racist Mario?
I can't believe you just fucking said
Maybe
that.
even something you composed. Anything, the possibilities are endless. Just put it in the game files, name it BGM, and make sure it's in WAV or oh good god format. So yeah, that's Warning Forever. Straightforward enough to fire up and start a round, but with a relatively high skill ceiling. That ratio is kinda unique when I consider all the other shoot 'em ups I've tried so far, and the kinda commitment they entail. With its focus on being a procedural boss rush rather than a full campaign, I could see myself getting better at it without having my brain bursting at the seams trying to memorize whole levels and oh my god, get out of me. Now, I've not become a shmup hater or anything like that. The mastery and rollercoaster ride vibes are part of why I enjoy them. But, you know, Warning's a nice change. Something I can see myself coming back to. Forever.
Buckingham Palace has announced the death of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh.